it is better to create better to use hyphen or underscore for your file name, because in programming we cannot properly use the spaces or things like that. So when you're creating names in programming, it is better you use hyphen or underscore for your file names or program names or things like that. So now I've created my CSS project folder, and I'll open this folder and create an HTML page. So I will just name it index.html, and then I will try to use the boilerplate exclamation mark, and then I'll just so I'm just creating a boilerplate. So on the other side, I will go to my folder open the folder. Everybody can see the screen. No, it's so small, huh? But after that, I'll give you the video file. I'm recording my during my lecture, so after that you can watch the video file also if you're interested. So I will try to open my file here. So I'll give it the CSS project as the file, the title, and inside the body I will create a session like I'll try to use AI to create one because I'm lazy. So now we're trying to create a postcard. Okay. So for the postcard, we have the heading, some text, and the postcard image, and then the the letter. So for the image links, okay. So it starts showing the photo. So in this case, what CSS styles been using is like there's a CSS style. Okay. If we check here, our website seems to be like this. What the GPT has been developed for us. So in this case, it has given me the CSS style for this. So I will just remove the CSS style because we are trying to illustrate, learn how to do a proper CSS. So I will remove all the CSS style there. Okay. So now this is our HTML code. There's a heading, a text, an image, and then the letter just below. So now we'll trying to set up the CSS. I will use the external CSS for this one. So I will need to add the I will need to first create a new file called style.css there, and inside the header I will link the style sheet. Yeah. Style. Okay. Okay, so we use the same href attribute for the linking style, and then we need a real style sheet, and maybe sometimes we will need type attribute. It is not a mandatory, but you can add this one also. Type is CSS and style file. So now the first thing what we do is we already have a HTML template like right here. So the first thing we do to add the CSS is like we want to add this external CSS. So we put a link tag inside the head section of our HTML page, and then we probably write the file name, and we reference the file using href attribute, and we have the real declaration and then the tab declaration. Search it, and then the next thing what we need to do is we have to check our HTML tag to start thinking about the Robert CSS setting. So first we have a div container, a div tag that cover to all of our object inside this web page. So we'll give the parent div a class called container. So we can use this class to edit the setting properly. And then another thing is we have another div, so I feel like we don't need a div there, so I'll just remove the div, and then I'll just make it an h1 text. So we now have one text done, and then h1, and then div, another div for the container of postcard. So it includes the p tag, image tags, and p tags for your friends or things like that. So I would like to change the fast p tags to h2. So in this case, you should find that I am changing. We already have h1 tags and we already have p tags, so I don't want a duplicate HTML tag, because I want to style this page with I do not want to use so many class or ID here. That's why I'm changing the HTML tags, and I use h1 for the title, and I use h2 inside the postcard and image, and then p. So that's all our content. So we'll go to the style sheet and then start setting up. The first thing, maybe you want to give an attribute to the whole page, maybe the font style or things like that. So I'll just add star selector inside CSS, and then This apply to all the HTML tag from this to that one. The star apply for maybe sometimes you can also let the body tag, use the body tag to apply a common CSS property for the whole web page. So I will set up the font family Arial sensitive and the background color white is not distinctive, so I will use the black background, and I will set the margin to 20 pixel and the padding 10 pixel. So let's see the changes, and there could be a margin there, or up and down. If we go use the developer tool, we can see that there is a margin before the setting, before our content started, and we also have some padding, and this is the content, and this is the padding, and this is the margin. So I will also add a border. Uh, 2 pixel dotted white. So the background color is not changing, so we have to check from this one. I will ask the AI to review the code. Make the entry, the background will make the entry place black, which might reduce the readability for user and text, or consider ensuring resolution contrast between the everything. So it is no problem with that code, but I will change the selector to.
Can we use the same in the same HTML to CSS, like external and internal, that same HTML?
Yeah, we can use the same time. We already have the external CSS, but we can also have an internal CSS here also. But there might be some conflict you have to consider, like if you put the external CSS link fast and then you do the internal CSS, then the HTML link, the browser will apply the fast one fast, and then the second one is second. So you're setting some setting like for this selected inside this one, and you set it black, and in here you also do the same setting and then you set it white. So it will apply this one fast and then this setting fast. This setting as the second. So it's probably working now because of this one. Because my style should have some error, I think. Maybe because of this one. Okay. So you don't need to insert the type, so it may have conflict over. So then our style sheet is working now, so I will just create the color to white. Okay, so text color is white and the background color is black, and we have set the dotted version. Uh, you see, we have created the border inside the style sheet. This one, a 2 pixel dotted white color border, but we created the border inside this selector. That is why we are seeing so many dotted border around the element, because star selector select all the element inside our web page. So we got border for all the things inside our HTML. So I will change it to body, and then it will get us only one border for the whole body section. So now we got our margin there, and we got our padding. If we see that this is the main content, and now the green one is the padding, and the margin is like this. So we got margin, padding, and the main content. So this is the minimal things what we want to get for now. And after this, we would like to get some style for the uh, container. So we have to use, we have put a container class for our container. So what should we do for what? How should we style the container? So the first thing we like to do is we like to set the width of the container. The width. So maybe we like to put it at there. Um, width 70 v width. In this case, we can set up the width using the VW. VW means view width. View width. View width means it will automatically calculate the total width of your device when you open the website. If you set the view width, if you use VW to set up the width of your page. So in this case, you can also use 70%. You can also use the percentage setting to set up the width of your element. And in another case, you can also use the pixel version to set the width of your contents. In this case, I'm using VW because I want this website to be mobile friendly. Like I do not want to adjust the setting of this website for every device. Like some people will use their mobile phone to access the website, and some people will use um, their computer to access the website. So if we set this up, then it will automatically take 70% of the whole contents. Like it is currently, you see the border right now. The white one is the border. It only take 70% width of the page right now. So it is what we want. And then we like to set the margin 0 auto. So the content could be at the middle of the page all the time. And then we like to have some padding around 20 pixels. So we'll get some gaps around the contents and the border. And then we're setting the background color something different from different, so we can see a little bit difference. So this is what we want for our container. And then for the H1, we'll set our text align center and the text color to red. So all the H1 get into the middle of the page, and then the color becomes red. And then for the another element, we'll set um, H2 text color and set it in the middle of the page, and then we will set dot container img. The image tag inside the container max width is 100% and height is auto displays block. I will set the height to um, let it be auto right now, and the image move to the into the middle of the page because we set margin 0 auto to adjust the content into the middle of the page, and we set the max width, so we'll just remove the max width and we'll set the height to 500 pixel so that we can see the image a little bit bigger. And the last thing we need to set up is the p tags, and p tags is inside our container div and postcard div. We'll use the postcard class to set up postcard, and p any p tags inside the postcard will become white and the font size 1.2 em and text legend will become sender. Okay, so this become inside the sender now, and this is what we want. We already got the image and everything, and we try to set it up all inside the sender. So this is how we used to style the element HTML element using CSS. And maybe if you want to create another session, then you can create a div dot class would be color box div. I will create another box, color box div, inside the HTML. Okay. Okay. So we now have the color box div, and I'm giving the color box div. So we already set up the color box div, and we set 3 colors with different background. I will use a full box. We already set up this HTML text, but it is not showing because we do not have content inside our element, and we do not have style yet for this one. So we are required to style this one also to get this. So I'll set the color box style. The background color a little bit different, heading margin and okay. So it will be different color below the postcard, and then we have an H1 text, H2 text. We're not doing anything to this H2 text yet. So we like to make this color box appear. So we set the style for the color box class. With 250 pixel, height 250 pixel. Okay. So our color box are now here, but we didn't arrange this one yet. So we need some arrangement CSS tag to properly position this inside our color box div. So we'll add the first thing how we like to display. Display will just use the grid system. If you want to know more about the grid display section, you can see CSS grid layout Google, and then you can check the reference, so you know how to set up the CSS grid property. Like we can create a class our page. So in this case I will use to give the color box display property called grid. So let's check. um, there's no changes right now. So say the color box okay. Okay, let's check the documentation container with a display grid. Okay, we'll see the proper container set grid, and then the ground color convert blue, and then text line center. The div will be giving we need to set. We'll try to set the text line center on the color box and see if we have any changes. Not yet, so we need some more CSS property to. Okay, there is this. When we use the display grid, then we need another text called grid templates column. We need this one. Okay. So after we use display grid option, then we use the grid template column. We set 3 sizes: auto. It means you go and check like it. There will be 3 boxes arranged in each block. But if you say one REM, one FR, okay, it will become 4 boxes, spaces arranged for you. So this is how you set up the grid. So to be able to properly set up, you have to get some more uh, properties of this CSS code using Google, or maybe you can ask ChatGPT to do like it. But you have to understand that what you can do using the ChatGPT. Maybe you can use another setting like flex, display flex also. In this case you don't need to set up anything. It will automatically arrange your items line by line. In this case our heading has been stuck inside this one because we put the heading, we'll use this container plus color box. 보통 예지다. 예문지 이제 나와 사고라 좀 마디. So you just need to put all the boxes. Sorry. Okay. So we go and check the color box. Um, how it depends on the color box container. Okay. But we're using the color box is using the color box item. So global format is color hyphen box. Okay. Okay. So this is how we use the color box and setting. Maybe you can try. I will send this simple file, and then maybe you can try playing around with CSS flex box and grid box to start the layout of your web page. So in this page, what you can see is like the first thing is not using any display property like flex or grid, but in the second thing we use flex for this box display. So you can try seeing this HTML page and then